Hey guys, it is a windy, gloomy day today, and so we're going to talk about something a little bit different today. We're going to talk about programming languages, because we never talked about programming languages before, have we? Enough joking around, let's get into it. The reason why I wanted to talk to you about programming language, or more specifically what we're going to talk about, is the amount of programming languages you know and how that has an impact on you. Now, if you've been watching my channel for a little while, you know that I make a few different comparisons between different programming languages. I enjoy programming quite a bit, and I actually do have a few programming languages under my belt which I feel very comfortable working in. And my rule of thumb is that I try to add more languages as I go along. Whenever I have a moment over, I'll sit down, learn the syntax of a programming language, and start doing exercises on one of my favorite learning platforms until I get a sensation of, I can do the basic things in a programming language. And I feel that I have this sweet spot of being productive. And my usual sweet spot for certain languages is that I have a few things on a list where I know that if I can do these things in this programming language, I'm pretty able to take it, if I wanted to become a master or start using it in a more professional manner, I can take that leap when I get there. So the thing is, with learning a lot of different programming languages, and especially if you're kind of new, you may think that you're a little bit overwhelmed, and you see someone like me who's talking about all these languages that I know and I play around with, and maybe you start thinking that you need to be doing that as well. And that's why I wanted to make this video, because I want to explain to you that that's actually not true. The reason why I do it is very different from what you may suspect to be the case. Now, just hear me out on this. So when you hear all these senior, a lot of senior developer or people who have YouTube channels or whatever, they talk about a bunch of different programming languages and so forth. Don't mistake that for being the norm. Senior developers, people who do this professionally in general, know just maybe between 1 or 3 programming languages well. That's general speaking. Some people all are specialized in one single programming language, and then they may, I'm not a master of every programming language I use, and that's okay, because the goal is not to be a master of everything, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. You don't think that you need to sit and buckle down and learn a bunch of different languages just so that you can be productive. Because the secret, or rather my secret as to why I do this, apart from me being genuinely interested in different programming languages, is for the same reason I watch tutorials on topics that I already know. And I'm basically trying to tell you that the benefit of knowing a bunch of languages, if you're really honest about it, what gain on a daily basis would you get from knowing both Java and C# or Python and Ruby? They're so similar that in terms of just producing applications, it's not all that valuable to you. I do it because I'm interested in it, and for one more reason, and this is the reason I want you to take away from this video of mine. Don't sit down and try to force yourself to learn a bunch of languages just because you think that you need to know them all. You have to have a reason, and if I would suggest a reason, then I think we should share this reason. Everybody should share this reason. If you sit down and you say, I want to learn that language, you should do that because you think that learning that language is fun, or you're interested in it, and it's going to help you broaden your horizons and learn how other languages or other people who are coming from a different perspective have solved certain problems, because all programming languages are for the most part structured in the same way. They just do things in different manners, and they're designed to do different things. Ergo, the more of them you know, the broader perspective you have on how to solve problems that have similarities. That's what it is. There's no reason for you to learn every single programming language, because odds are that you will only use maybe, as I said, 1 to 3 of them for the most part of your career. As you know, we're talking about the everyday programming now. We're talking professional programming. I mean, that's really it. And sure, it may sound impressive when somebody says that they have like all these languages, but trust me, nobody's a master of every single language. There's no such thing. But I urge you that, you know, if you are that person, if you think that you need to learn all these things and you're forcing yourself to learn, like just adopt all these languages because you feel a sense of stress or sense of urgency, so that then just drop that. Because nobody, trust me, the people who know all these languages are not studying all these languages because it's a hard requirement. They do it because it's fun and because they want to get the ideas and these different perspectives on how to solve these different problems. So I'm just going to leave you with that. I strongly urge you to try to your best to learn. My rule of thumb is, you know, that's a very loose rule, but say you study one new programming language a year, learn the basics of learn the syntax, learn what you need to learn in order to be able to produce the more common things such as a web application or something of that nature, and do some small projects in it, just so that you feel a sense of, okay, I'm starting to see how this works. I'm getting this. I know what this could be useful for, just so you have it with you, because it will broaden your perspective. Think of it as traveling. Think of it as mental traveling. Just by traveling, you will become more aware of different ways of looking at things. And learning programming languages is exactly that. It's a way for you to broaden your horizons.